Principles of Visual Design, a Pecha Kucha by Sarah Shipp, based on Design Basics by Lauer and Pintek. Design is aesthetic organization of elements, creative problem solving, the relationship between aesthetics and content, or form and function, and a way of communicating intended use or expected response. A game's content is made up of rules, mechanics, and strategies. Its form is its box, rulebook, components, theme, art, lore, and overall experience. The principles of design affect both the look of the game and the experience of gameplay. Unity is when all elements work together as one harmonious composition. Composed elements should feel like they are all part of the same world. Unity can be created using a number of tools: proximity, repetition, variety, continuation, and continuity. With proximity, elements near each other will be associated as a group. Proximity adds clarity to visual information by establishing relationships between elements. For example, while the gold octagons are similar to each other, they clearly belong to separate groups due to proximity. Our brains naturally seek patterns. Repetition of motifs across a design aids memory, reinforces symbolism and theme, and can reduce visual chaos. Like proximity, repetition helps organize information for viewers. Variety adds interest through contrast and comparison, while too much variety leads to visual chaos. Unity desires that elements are in the same world. Variety makes sure that that world isn't bland. Varied repetition can create a balance between unity and variety. Continuation is the flow of one element to the next, the relationship between elements. Visually, this flow helps the eye move around a space. It also helps establish a consistent feel throughout an experience. Continuation specifically refers to a single design. Continuity is the flow from one design to the next. Continuity is important for expansions, sequels, campaigns, and legacy games, so that products feel like they belong together. While these tools create unity, every other principle also contributes to unity in a design. Emphasis uses focal points to attract attention. A focal point is a central singular component or idea, or an innovative element or experience. Emphasis can add table presence, clearly articulate the point of a game, or showcase innovation. There are 3 tools to help create emphasis. Contrast creates emphasis by making different things stand out. Our attention is drawn to breaks in a pattern. Too much contrast, however, merely creates variety or repetition. Use contrast sparingly to create emphasis. Isolation creates emphasis by decluttering your focal point. By removing proximity relationships, an isolated object can take on greater importance. The single star, while not large, is the most important thing in this uncluttered image. Placement creates emphasis by having everything else point to the focus. Don't let elements draw focus away, aka upstage, your focal point. To review, contrast, isolation, and placement are used to create emphasis. Scale relates to the actual size of elements. The context of a scale is the real-world location the elements exist in. Human scale refers to elements designed for the average human. Unusual scale creates emphasis and visual interest through unexpected or exaggerated size. Proportion refers to relative size. Adjusting proportions between elements can create a visual impact without needing to go larger or smaller in the absolute sense. For example, the fruit on the right has a stronger visual impact than the fruit on the left. Hierarchic scaling refers to making important elements larger. In this image, all the elements seem to have a similar importance, which contributes to the overall visual chaos. When using this scale, realism is less desirable than conveying importance. Balance is the distribution of visual weight or importance within a composition so that all sides maintain a sense of equilibrium. Imbalance creates tension. Games exist between perfect balance and total imbalance. Visually, balance is expressed through symmetry. Bilateral symmetry is when one half of an image mirrors the other. In this image, the mirror line runs horizontally. Symmetry creates feelings of stability. Symmetry relies on repetition of elements to create balance. With asymmetry, elements are different but have equal weight. It feels more informal and less abstract. Asymmetry relies on variety rather than repetition. As game designers know, balanced asymmetry can be more difficult to create than a symmetrical design. With radial balance, elements radiate or circle out from a common central point. Radial balance is important when an object, such as a board, is viewed from multiple perspectives. Symmetry around a focal point creates emphasis. Rhythm is visual, auditory, or chronological patterns and variations. Repetition and variety affect rhythm. Rhythm affects the movement of the viewer's eye across elements. This concludes the principles of design.